I'm excited about today. I'm on the other side of the country in Broome. I'm here to help out a good mate. He said to me, Tim, I've seen you move a few crocs before, but how about you come and help me with Bluey? Now, Bluey's not just any croc. He's a monster, a whopping 5 metres. And when I got that call, I said, I'm not going to miss out on this.
This is the old Broome Crocodile Park where Bluey's been entertaining visitors for years. But today he's off to his new home outside of town at the new and improved Malcolm Douglas Croc Park. And I reckon he already knows something's up.
Good morning, mate.
Hey, Tim. How you going, mate?
I'm good.
That's good.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, well.
Big day?
Yep, big day planned.
Where is he?
Just up the way there. I've got a couple of boys just keeping an eye on him at the moment.
Yep.
We've got a few more blokes pulling up, so...
let's go.
Yep.
The park has gradually been moving its 80 saltwater crocodiles from the original site to the new, larger location. And today is the turn of the infamous Bluey.
Bluey, there's a bit of a story. He was captured from the wild. He was eating horses on a cattle station. So, problem croc. And he's been here for about 15 years. And he's very loved. He's a real character. But he's 5 metres, 500 kilos, maybe more.
A huge team of helpers has been rounded up for probably one of the most dangerous operations of their careers.
Good morning, boys.
Morning. Morning. How you going? OK, fellas. Now, obviously, Bluey's a big animal, so hence the reason we need so much manpower. Essentially, what's going to happen, Chris and myself will go in, we'll get a top jaw rope on, and then Tim will get involved, and we'll get another couple of top jaw ropes on, and we'll try and get those jaws contained. Bottom line is, if we call it, just step away. Give yourself plenty of space from the animal, because if he starts to roll and thrash, it'll probably be a trip to the hospital. All right, let's go get him.
This is a big move. We've got a big croc, very dangerous, especially for us, but also for the croc. It needs to happen smooth. It's high alert, and we need to be careful at every stage.
All right, so everyone's ready?
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys, pay attention.
Dave, Chris and I go into Bluey's yard, and he's nowhere to be seen. Bang! There's Bluey. He's out and he's right into position. That first rope needs to go on now. We need to have our wits about us, because a croc like this, make a mistake, you only get one chance.
If we don't get those jaws contained, he has the ability to grab hold of a leg or an arm, and the power of his jaws will crush straight through the flesh, break the bone, and he has the potential to literally tear that limb off.
Some of it. Guys, a couple of you guys, just help us.
One.
Let him roll.
Perfect.
Get a bit of slack, guys. Nah, when he goes, not yet.
Okay, Chris, can you reach that?
This is where it gets hard. Bluey's got the first rope on and he's thrashing about. Let him roll. A bit of slack.
Stretch that rope out, keep the two ropes together, pull them together as one.
All we can do is try and hold on, but he's way too strong for us. He's going to do what he wants to do. Hold up, boys, not too much on him.
This is an epic struggle. Bluey obviously isn't happy with that rope on him, and the situation has now got a whole lot worse.
Just keep the pressure.
Jeez. Bluey has the ropes on and he's doing big death rolls. And he hits the fence, bites it and rolls into it. He's that powerful. This is a problem, because if he can't get himself unstuck, I don't know what we do.
In the struggle to free himself, Bluey's using up way too much energy.
Big crocs like this can build up lactic acid. That can kill them. That happens because they struggle and they stress out. Do you want us to give him a bit of slack for a sec? I'm in Bundaberg, Queensland. I had a ranger mate give me a call and she said, "You've got to get up here
right now because it's all happening. Now, there's a scene unfolding here that's been playing out since dinosaurs roamed the Earth. And it's not something I want to miss.
I'm here to meet Kathy Gatley, who's been working at Monrepo for nearly 20 years. And I reckon she's got one of the best jobs going.
G'day.
Hey, Tim.
How are you?
Good. Great you come to Monrepo.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's a busy time here. We've got turtles galore, so we're at the moment nesting and hatching turtles. Judging by all of our visitors that we get here, we get people that come back over and over again, so I think Tim's going to think it's a pretty special place.
As you can see behind me, the water's low, but it's getting dark. And as it does, that tide is going to push in. And when the water rises, the turtles will come with it. Now, they're at the back there somewhere, just mulling around, waiting for that water level to rise and the sun to go down. And when it does, they'll start and come up onto the beaches. Now, tonight, fingers crossed, I'm hoping for two things. To see female turtles laying their eggs and hatchlings popping out of their eggs. Wouldn't that be magic?
Where are we going to head?
I reckon we'll go up north
Yeah?
and have a bit of patrol.
Okay.
Yeah?
I get to work with some incredible animals, from tiny bats to giant pythons. But one species I never get tired of seeing in the wild are sea turtles. And not just seeing them in the wild, but specifically egg laying and hatching. Now, I've tried to see it a few times and missed. This was an opportunity that was too good to pass up.
It's a very good incubating beach. We get really good hatchling success. And most of the turtles come up into that first grassed area to lay their eggs.
Oh, do they? So they're not going up over the top?
No, loggerheads usually stay on this bottom, yeah.
It doesn't take long to find the first signs of what's going to happen when the sun goes down.
When the females come up the beach, they stop here on the dunes where the vegetation starts. And this beach is perfect because it has a gradual slope. Now, natural disasters like cyclones can erode a beach and it can be too steep and the turtles can't lay. But this is perfect. And here is a turtle shell, some tangible evidence that there are hatchlings under the sand here, just waiting to emerge. But now it's a waiting game. The sun needs to drop. We sit tight, wait for a turtle to walk up on the beach, or little turtles to scurry down the beach. Either way, I'm excited.
Nesting turtles will come out anytime, sort of from dusk onwards. They like the darkness, it's safer for them. And hatchlings, it's the cooling down of the sand. So we've had a bit of rain today, so the sand should be getting quite cool, and that's when they wake up and trigger to emerge and scuttle down the beach.
How many turtles have laid here so far this season?
We've had around about 360 individual loggerheads. It's pretty good numbers for the season. And we've had a few just in the last week, which we call first-time nesters, so breeding for the first time ever in their life. So up on the beach, they've got no tags, no scars where they've lost a tag. So we know that they're here for the first time, which is lovely to see.
Luckily for me, once the sun disappears, any concerns I had about turtles not showing up have been put to bed.
Wow, you can see the line here. This is our track. Yeah, exciting. If you look at the flipper marks, you can see they're across like this from each other. So that's a loggerhead turtle. They come up the beach using their front flippers.
So you can identify the species by the tracks?
Yeah, yeah.
All we need to do now is follow those tracks and we find a turtle. Hey, look at this. Look to the left. Look at that. That's a loggerhead?
That is a loggerhead turtle.
That's exactly what we were after. First time I've ever seen it this close. This is a loggerhead turtle, and it's pretty easy to see why they have that name. Their head is huge, and those flippers that are so designed for swimming turn into shovels.
Now, she digs about an arm length down, and it's about 2 handspans wide at the bottom, comes up to about 1 at the top.
We picture turtles being these slow, cruisy creatures, but you're talking 15 minutes to dig a hole, not 15 hours.
No, that's right.
It's a quick process. She's finished the hole, and then she rests her flipper up, and you can just sense that something's about to happen. 1 egg drops, 2 egg drops, 3, 4, 5, and soon enough, there's 20 to 30 eggs in the bottom of that chamber.
Yeah, so we'll see if she's got tags, then we'll know if she's been here before. Yeah, so she has got a tag. She's done a couple of breeding seasons.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's great to see her back for another one.
Wonderful. Now we know who she is it's time to have a look at the rest of the body.
What did we get? 99.8, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it's average for our loggerhead girls. So you can see all this sand she's dug out, so she's going to fill in over her nest, so it's nice and safe.
She's laid her eggs, the job's done, and now she's making her way back to the ocean, and pretty quick too.
Just up the beach, we come across another expectant mother who's already started the laying process.
So this is turtle number 2.
Yeah.
And what's happening there?
So this is one of our visitor groups, come to view the turtle and learn about what turtles do.
Yep, ecotourism at its best.
Definitely, yeah.
And all the kids are our future ambassadors.
Yeah, they certainly take the messages home.
This is definitely one for the bucket list. So it's no wonder this awesome spectacle attracts people from around the world, night after night during the nesting season.
Okay, we find another?
Yeah, let's go.
Look at that, that's turtle number 3 for us. And she's a bit lost, is she?
Yeah, she's heading a bit along the beach, but she should get her bearings and find her way up to the dunes.
And the groups have got more?
Yeah, we've got 3 more groups along the beach, and then I think we've got another 2 turtles. So yeah, we're getting close to 10 for the night.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. And I'm not tired of seeing the females laying, but where are the babies?
We need some hatchling action. Yeah, so we'll have to go for a patrol and see if we can find some babies.
We're wasting time.
Yeah, let's go.
There's still a long night ahead, and I'm desperately hoping my timing is on the button to see the first stages of life for these extraordinary turtles.
What's happening there?
Oh, look, Tim, we're in luck.
Look at that. Holy moly. Yep. Do you want us to give him a bit of slack for a sec?
Yeah. Just a little bit, yeah.
Little bit of slack on.
This is the old Broome Crocodile Park where Bluey's been entertaining visitors for years. But today he's off to his new home outside of town at the new and improved Malcolm Douglas Croc Park. We're running out of time. We've got just moments to release this croc before he goes downhill.
This needs to be fast. If Bluey overheats, he'll die.
It's a nerve-wracking few minutes until Bluey decides he wants to twist his way back out of the fence.
There we go.
There we go.
You can feel the sense of relief across the team when he does.
With a bit of encouragement, thankfully, Bluey unrolls himself and it's game on.
Rightio, pull away. I want to try and keep him off the fence, so give him a little bit of slack.
A little bit more, a little bit more.
Hold on, just hold your ground.
Now it's all hands on deck. Keep that pressure on Bluey. There's a few of us working in and around him. If the guys don't keep the pressure on, he's going to whack one of us.
Okay, Pete, you got your cable ties? Perfect. Flop it over.
Finally, Bluey's subdued. Blindfolding him immediately calms this monster croc and gives us time to get on some cable ties and tape.
Once his jaws are restrained, then we take a little breath because he can't bite anymore.
Happy? Snap it off, mate. Perfect.
Now we've got the jaws secured. The main thing we've got to watch out for is when Bluey rolls or thrashes that tail about. He can break your leg, pop your knee, really easy.
Put a couple of you on the tail. Yep. A couple grab the legs.
You have to give us a hand here on this one, mate. You got that
Do you want to give me...
Let's work on that one first.
Fair enough.
Bluey won't stay quiet for long, so we need to keep moving. This is a real race against time.
Crocodiles expend energy and they need a little bit of time to reboot. So by moving him quickly, we're hoping to avoid that point where he's able to build up fresh energy and become a problem during the release.
Ready? 1,
Grab
2,
hold, please. Go. Pull. That's it. Perfect. Turn him a bit.
That went well. He bowled himself up in the fence for a minute, but he came right back out. Good capture.
It up. Okay, stop. Perfect.
Now we need to move quick and get him to his new home before that lactic acid builds up, because that can really hurt him. That went well, Dave.
Yeah, so far so good. Okay, fellas. Now this is the bit that's really going to test your mettle. Like I said, he's a very heavy animal, so lift safely, bend at the knees.
This is going to take all of our strength. Half a ton of croc is no laughing matter.
1, 2, 3. We a bit light up here?
We've got 7 blokes aside. We've all braced ourselves ready and we've all lifted. And even though we're all prepared and ready for the lift, it's still caught everyone by surprise. Shuffle, shuffle, that's it. Okay, and down.
Glad we had a few extra people.
The road trip to Bluey's new home is only 15 kilometres, but every minute he stays restrained is critical.
I'm sure he's stressing out. He's probably wondering what's going on. It's been a long time since he's had ropes on him and been captured. And our whole operation, of course, is to minimise that stress to him.
Got a mattress for under his chest, just to stop the vibration. Now the crane lifts Bluey onto the truck and we put some wet blankets on him and a shade structure because we've got a 15-minute journey to Bluey's new home. We need to move fast. That's a confident croc.
Yeah, exactly. We weren't anticipating him rolling into the fence, but like we said, when they start to do it, they dictate the capture.
Yeah.
So it went pretty well. I was pretty happy.
Now he's heading home.
Oh, I'm glad for that. The release, well, that could be a different story.
The new park is named after a hero of mine, Malcolm Douglas. Way back in the mid-60s, along with his mate, Malcolm ditched his job to explore Australia and made this film, Across the Top. It was a major success and spurred Malcolm on to make over 50 more films during his lifetime. That success also provided the funds to set up the original Broome Crocodile Park in 1983. Meanwhile, back on the road, we've arrived at Bluey's new home at the Malcolm Douglas Crocodile Park. Bluey has to get back in the water before his body temperature rises to the point of critical. The day's heating up really quick, so it's important we start unloading as soon as possible.
When we let Bluey go, we want to see that he's full of energy. If he's not, and he's lethargic, and he just sits there, that's an indication that he's exhausted. We want to see a firecracker. That means he's got plenty of energy, and this was a success. We'll point his head right at the water.
We've all braced ourselves ready. We just need to get those ropes off quickly, safely, and get out of his way. Rightio, Tim, we're going to get cracking on this?
Yep.
Okay. So his legs are free? Right.
What's that tail? At this point, my stomach has butterflies. This is the part where Dave is going to cut all the ropes, cut all the tape, some people will be on Bluey, and my job is last rope. I'll have the only rope that's holding his jaws shut, so when everything else is gone, I'll hold on tight, and hopefully it unwraps.
Hold you.
Whoop, whoop.
Hold in, guys, hold in.
This is where someone can get seriously hurt.
All right, clear off. Get back.
Back behind me, Rocco. Bluey doesn't stick to the plan. As soon as he can feel freedom, whack, he's up. He's okay.
Once he gets a look at that water, he should just walk straight in. It's pleasing to see him have some sort of energy. We know then that he hasn't built up a great deal of lactic acid in his body. But he still caught us off guard. That last burst, that thrash, that really was out of the blue.
Here we go.
Go on, big boy. Whew. It's a real thrill, a real buzz to finally move him. He is a great crocodile, very dynamic. He's great on tour, and it'd be good to see him back on tour and, of course, pleasing the crowd.
Well, he's happy, mate.
Yeah, no, that went pretty well. I'm happy with that too.
He was cheeky.
Oh, yeah. Caught us a little unawares at the end there, but
Yeah.
still went well though.
What a day. A 5-metre saltwater crocodile, captured and successfully removed. That's a good day in my book.
Oh, look, Tim, there's hatchlings here.
Oh, look
wow.
at that.
You can see the sand bubbling a little bit. With all this rain, we've got a bit of a hard surface, so we'll just loosen it up a bit.
I'm on Monripo Beach in Bundaberg, witnessing the next generation of the endangered loggerhead turtles emerge from their eggs beneath the sand.
We should see the sand start to bubble soon. Little heads appear.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
Wow.
Holy moly.
These little fellas' mother laid her eggs here 60 days ago, right where she would have hatched decades back.
Truly one of the most amazing sights on Earth. There was one head, two head. Now there's 20. They've just exploded. And every one of them is heading right for the ocean. Here's one right at my knee. There must be 50 or 60 in there now. And as they hatch and crawl down the beach, they're put into here where they're safe. They don't get squashed. And then all at once, they'll be lifted and they'll take off. I can hardly keep up with them. Tonight, watching those females lay their eggs and the hatchlings pop their little heads up, it's a full cycle. And it's truly amazing. I do some special things in my job, but tonight, being here, just about tops it.
Rightio, we ready? Here we go.
Here they come. A whole lot are just about to hit me. What a sight.
Next
How they
light's bright.
tickle.
They do tickle.
They're everywhere. There's so many of them, and they want out. They want in the ocean. They're almost at the water.
Just about there.
Look
Here
at
we
this.
go. Coming.
Wow, that was brilliant. Hey?
These tiny babies face one of nature's toughest battles for survival.
Less than 1 in 1,000 of these little hatchlings will make it to be an adult. They're off.
Hopefully some of the females in this clutch make it to maturity and then return to Monrepo, maybe in 20 or 30 years, just like their mother did, to lay their own eggs and start the cycle all over again.
I have never quite seen anything like that. I think it needs to be said, 50% of the world's loggerhead population breeds here, and that's because of the work you guys are doing. I mean, you've been here 20 years, so you're a big part of that, and good on you.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
There's some pretty dangerous jobs out there. People put their lives on the line every day.
But I reckon we have a few jobs here at the Australian Reptile Park that would push for a place on the list of Australia's most dangerous jobs.
Every year without fail, there's a gator nest raid. Bear in mind, there's 40 fired-up alligators out in the lagoon at this time of year. And without doubt, every one of them would gladly sink their teeth into anyone who had an unfortunate slip.
Back up, back up, back up. Dino.
That's why nest raiding makes it onto my top 5 most dangerous jobs at the reptile park.
Go. Righto, boys.
Next up, entering the cassowary enclosure. Now, ordinarily, these iconic birds will wander about minding their own business in the wild. Give them a wide berth and they won't bother you. But corner a cassowary, and that's something we occasionally have to do with captive animals. And you can soon have a problem on your hands.
Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Stop. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Stop. Hey. Hey, got it. Come on, you.
Needless to say, we don't go into the cassowary enclosure unless we really need to. Back at the Gator Lagoon for the next in my rundown on the reptile park's most dangerous jobs.
Hey Timmy, you on radio?
Go ahead, mate.
You got a problem, there's no park water.
Oh, that's not good. I'll have a look at the tank and pumps and I'll get back to you.
Too easy.
The park's gardens and some of the exhibits' water supply comes straight from the lagoon, which is spring-fed. We've got a pipe out there that feeds directly into these tanks with the help of a pump before the water disperses to where it's needed. Now, with 40 gators and a forest of trees overhanging the water, you can imagine there's a fair bit of waste build-up at the bottom of the lagoon.
Not good. Well, it's just as I thought. The pipe's blocked in the lagoon. This is one of those jobs that nobody wants to do.
Tim to Bill.
Go ahead, mate.
Bill, you're right. We do have a problem. The pipe's blocked, mate. Get the boat ready. We're going on the lagoon.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
This time of year, the Gator Lagoon should be pretty quiet. The breeding season is over. The weather has cooled down and the gators are fed to the gills. Should be easy, if a little mucky. Back home in the swamps and bayous of the southeastern United States, gators go dormant during the winter months, and that's exactly what they do here. But that's not for another month or so. Unlike Bill and I, these gators are built for life in the water. The tail works just like an oar on the backstroke. Its flattened sides provide excellent propulsion through the water. Now, you heard me mention 40 gators in the lagoon. Look around though, you can't see that many. Not yet anyhow.
Under. Where'd that gator go? Big boy coming, Bill. We don't really want him jumping in. Let's stay out of his way a little bit. Let's go this way. This way.
Alligators can spend up to 5 hours submerged without breathing. An extraordinary feat that allows them to rebuild energy, ready for their next hunt. When they're active, it's often only their eyes and snout that break the surface. Perfect for hunting down prey. These fearsome foes are getting feisty. I wasn't expecting this.
Get out of here, mate. Hey, there's the pipe. We got a gator sitting on it. Oh, what's that one behind you there?
Here he comes.
Just watch this big fella up here. Gator there, Bill. Go back, go back. Big fella. Bill, back, back, back.
Now he's out of the way, it's time to get the pipe on board. And let me tell you, this is not one of my favourite jobs. We've had gators swimming under us. We've had gators trying to grab the oars. Who knows whether there's one under us right now, ready to strike.
We've got the pipe halfway up. That was hairy. Gators everywhere and swarm. They think we're food. Bill promises me if I go in the drink, he'll get me out.
Okay, so whilst Bill steadies the ship, I'm going to hoist the pipe aboard.
Yes. Jeez, is that stuck or that heavy? No, I'm all right now. We got it. Oh, maybe I do. Yep, 2-manner.
The trouble is, with Bill giving me a hand, we're not what you'd call well balanced.
Whoa! 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good. Hold there. Right. That thick sludge is our problem. This cage, when in the water, goes down over the foot valve here. But every now and then the mud builds up and it stops working. At least we know how to fix it. We've got a big male just out the back here. Googly Eyes is his name. And this corner is his territory. And he's letting us know about it. He's slapping his jaws, all puffed up, sitting proud on the water. We're almost done.
Googly Eyes isn't the only gator we need to keep an eye on. Any one of this lot could be weighing us up and getting ready to attack. So we're on alert at all times. They might have a brain the size of the top of my thumb, but that doesn't mean they're silly, especially when they only have one thing on their mind. If it moves, it's potential prey, and it's not beyond one of them to be lurking right below us, ready to take a hand and drag us into the lagoon.
1, 2, 3. Let's put it in without us going in too. 1, 2. You got the rock. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Job done. That was hairy. Hopefully we don't have to do that again for another year. Let's get out of here.
If I mentioned a 500 kilo, 5 metre, supreme hunter with a bad attitude, you'll know instantly that I'm talking about Elvis, Australia's crankiest croc.
He's massive, isn't he?
Attending to any job in his yard comes with its risks. Just ask Billy, who while mowing the lawn had the mower ripped right from his hands.
He's looking at you.
But when something happens that requires one of us to enter his pool, well, it sends the danger factor into the stratosphere. Take, for instance, the time when Elvis's pool sprung a leak. Only thing for it was to don my diving mask and take a leap of faith. When I say it's a leap of faith, I couldn't have said a truer word. In situations like this, my life is in the hands of my staff. And I tell you what, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Guys, he's on the move a bit.
I'd get out of there, mate. Did you get it all done or what? Yeah, it looks good. There was just a bit of a crack along that seal.
Last, but most definitely not least, is for my money, the most dangerous job in Australia, possibly even the world.
This job is one that we do every week, but it never gets any easier. In fact, it gets scarier. Inside here is Australia's largest venomous snake, and this room is a part of the venom production unit. We extract venom from snakes to be sent off and made into life-saving anti-venom. Sounds easy, right? It's not. Here he comes. He's longer than me, almost by double. That's a 3 metre mulga snake or king brown. Now, the trick is to get him onto that pad. Pin him with this pinner, grab him and extract the venom. And here goes. It's a 2-man job. Come on, Brutus. Okay, he's up. You right? Good, Bill?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. A head as big as my fist. Now, that's the terrifying part, actually grabbing him. You don't know if he's going to turn around, give you a nip, he might slip. Even a small bite from a snake like this, big trouble. Now this is a big venom vial. It's got a plastic sheath on top. Now the snake needs to bite onto this and that'll stimulate the flow of venom. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, Brutus. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 2 fangs, both 1/2 centimetre long, and just venom, drip, 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 drip. Enough in there to kill Bill and I a few times over. That's a good milking. And the thing about king browns is that their venom isn't that strong. They don't even rank in the top 10. But what they lack in toxicity, they make up for in size, in volume. I wouldn't want that amount of venom in me. Now that's stage 2. So we've restrained the snake, we got him onto the vial. Now most snakes just let go and you can release, piece of cake. But Brutus here in particular won't let go. We have to walk to his cage, put him back in. He decides when he lets go of the vial and then we'll retrieve it. Come on, mate, you right? We'll walk him back in. Billy will open up the cage. Just before he goes away, have a look at the size of this thing. This is a venomous snake, mainly a snake eater in the wild. Look at that. No wonder they call him the king. Tail first. You don't want to let the head go and have a whole heap of body hanging out. Okay, he's off. He's just let go of the vial. So we've restrained Brutus, milked Brutus, released Brutus. Now we've just got to get that vial out. It's liquid gold. Okay.
Yeah, he's just coming around the back now, so be real quick.
Now?
Yeah, go.
Step 4 complete. 1 vial, king brown venom. That's going to go a long way to saving someone's life. Another day in the office, hey? Would you mind looking after little Russell?
It's not all snarling teeth and venomous fangs at the park. So maybe it's time I help reduce your heart rate with a big bundle of cuteness.
I love you too, mate. Hold on, not long now.
Taking care of orphans is just part of the job for me at the park.
You ready for another Mothers Club meeting? Here's your bottle.
Cheers.
How's he going?
Yeah, he's good, eh? He's still real sooky, right?
Yeah?
My senior park keeper Bill has also got his hands full. So we've started a daily Mothers Club after becoming full-time carers to these 2 joeys.
Caring for orphaned animals, and in this case, marsupials, kangaroos, 24-hour job. It doesn't stop. 6 feeds a day. In between then, you've got a toilet, clean up after, they're awake through the night. But a big part of that is giving them their bottles, their nourishment. You ready for some milk? There you go. He's a happy little roo. By the time you get round to having kids, Bill, you'll be spent.
I'll be well experienced, that's for sure.
Is that his belly?
Yeah. He's shaking his
He's
paws.
chugging it.
9-month-old Reggie and 6-month-old Russell both lost their mums in horrific circumstances. Without round-the-clock care, these little joeys would have no chance at survival.
You've done a good job, mate, because he was a tough kid, orphaned at such an old age. He used to get him much smaller. I can't believe you've turned him around to be your mate.
Yeah, he's the best, mate. Aren't you, mate?
In the wild, joeys rely on milk from their mother for at least 12 months. Bill and I will need to keep feeding these little ones until they're old enough to fend for themselves.
That's it. That's it. It's all gone. There's no more. You want to come for a hop with Reggie? I know you're not going to like that, but it's time. Yeah. You're a good little fella. Come on, let's go for a hop. Red kangaroos are social. The way that we need to develop their skills, and even makes their body physically stronger, is to get them out into our park area.
You ready?
There are other kangaroos that are adults, there are hazards, and there's of course people. But all of that teaches them and develops them to be independent roos. Do you want to have a pat? There you go. Yep. Do you know what sort of animal he is?
Kangaroo.
Yep. Then do you know what sort of kangaroo? I'll give you a hint. See the colour there behind his ear? What is it?
A desert kangaroo.
A desert kangaroo or a red kangaroo, that's right.
It's a big day for
clever.
Russell as it's his
wants
first
to see him
time
hop?
being surrounded by a crowd.
All right, ready? Now you have to say, go Russell! Go on!
The thing is, it's an important step for the little joey to gain his independence.
As in little ambassadors. And we... He's cheeky. There's kids everywhere, and Russell's actually startling them. Not the other way, but he's getting used to the whole thing, and he's having a ball.
You got him.
Over the last few months, I've seen these roos develop into their own little personalities. Now, they're good with people because they think we're their mums. But the reality is that's the detachment they're not good with. They never want to be away from us. But today, you start to see a picture that they're happy to go out and off a little bit. And that will begin to extend over the coming months until they're independent.
The budding little ambassadors are a big hit with park visitors. But now it's time for their all-important daily weigh-in.
Come on, mate. This way. I'm not coming back to pick you up. Come on, pal. That's a boy. Let's go. Let's go. Righto. I'll take notes. You want to weigh?
Oh, Wade, just want to grab that diary.
Let's do Reggie first. All right. Joey's at Russell and Reggie's age are still totally dependent on mum. This is a full-on job. The only thing that gets more full-on is 2 Joeys at once. 6.7.
Yeah, awesome. That's 100 grams up, eh?
Yeah, that's great. All right, so 6.7 plus 100, you say?
Yeah.
Any discharge? What we do is take a weight, which is a really easy observation on general health. Did they put on weight or lose weight? And as well as that, we check for simple things like any signs of discharge, hydration, and just the general well-being of the joeys. Ears are great. Eyes are good. I'm sorry, Reg. Don't get cranky, buddy. Okay, so that's good. You want to just check his hydration, Bill?
Yeah, we're good.
Good as gold?
Yeah.
My favourite question of the day. How was he last night?
Do you want a short answer or a long answer?
Short answer for now.
Well, he had a party all night long, so he's very worn out.
Yeah, so he's happy.
He's happy.
I'll put Reggie happy, Billy not so happy. Bill and I love Reggie and Russell equally, but I do give him a bit of a hard time because Reggie was a bit older when he was orphaned. Now that means he's a bit of a handful. He gives Bill a bit of stick. By stick, keeps him up all night, sometimes won't take his bottle, put him on the ground, he takes off. Russell is an angel. We got 5.2. He's up 50. Just, that's not bad.
Yeah, nice.
It's all the milk he's getting, mate. He won't touch the solids. No surprises, the joeys look great. Clean bill of health in all areas. You need to start on the solids, mate. Ears good, eyes good. I'll just check hydration while we're there. Forward, buddy.
With both joeys given a clean bill of health, it's now home time. Russell comes with me and Reggie with Bill. Like I said, this is round-the-clock care.
Come on, Reg. That's it. Hold up, buddy. You better grab him, mate. Gee, you've got him well trained, Bill. Good boy, Russ. Hello, boys.
My boys are always excited when I get home. But I reckon that excitement is more for whom I'm bringing home than for me.
Come on. Hey, baby, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hello.
Come on. Hey, watch out for the little fella. Come on. What do you want to do? Let him have a hop? Come on.
Anything that you can possibly think of Australian animals, we've had it at home. Feather-tailed gliders, sugar gliders, koalas, kangaroos, wombats, Tassie devils and birds. Anything Australian, it's been here.
Whoa! Here he comes!
Hello!
Come here, Russ. The boys are always a bit scary in the afternoons for him. He's had a nice quiet day. Come on, who wants to come and give his belly a tickle, please? You know, I never forget how lucky I am to be able to bring my kids up with wildlife. Being around it teaches them compassion, empathy, understanding, and they're better for it. Russell! Oh, Mama, we might need a towel.
The trouble is with our house guests, they don't always set the best example for the boys.
He did a wee on the bench. Oh, no. Oh, Russell. Well, we may as well let him finish now, hey?
Oh yes, there's always a constant mess when the boys are around, especially with the animals that Tim brings home. He doesn't like to clean up after them at all. So that's my job.
Close your eyes. I love you. Close your eyes.
Love you too, Moochie Poochie.
Can we leave Russell on the door? Russell will be with us for at least the next few months, but then he'll stay at work and we get a bit of relief. Here we go. Night, boys.
Night, Russell.
When he goes, I think the boys will miss him a lot. What I won't miss is the round-the-clock feeds. Love you, boys. I bet he'll be up through the middle of the night, but whether he is or he isn't doesn't matter, because tomorrow, back into it again.
Australia's great variety of wildlife is celebrated around the world, but we have the worst mammal extinction rate on Earth.
This is the Dryandra woodland in Western Australia. A bush like this once covered a vast amount of the state, but nowadays it's restricted to tiny little pockets. I'm here for a very specific reason. When I was 6 years old, I watched a children's program with my dad, and in that show was a species of Australian marsupial called a numbat. And numbats are arguably one of the world's rarest mammals. I've never seen one in the wild, and this is one of the only places you can. That's exactly why I'm here.
Rob and John are a couple of mates from way back. They live and breathe Dryandra and all that live in it. So before we head out, they want to show me some little critters they've taken into their care.
Here's Jono's got a little surprise for you, mate.
Yeah, mate.
What do you got?
Oh, a couple of little wilies there.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he's a little beauty. He's about time for feed too now, so it's a good time. You want to have a go at him?
I do. Is he gonna... Oh, look at that. How old is he, Rob? Hello, mate.
I reckon probably about 60 days, 70 days.
Yeah.
And what have you got?
This one's a bit older, about 600 grams now.
Oh, they both look great.
There you go, give her one of them, Kimbo.
So what's this? A little bit of Farrex?
Just Farrex baby
Okay.
food.
Look
She
at
loves
that.
it.
Look at that. And what's the story? Where have they come from?
Oh, they've just been orphaned in the woodland, mate. So come into care. Hopefully they'll grow up all right and go back here. It'll be neat, you know?
Yeah,
Full
good.
circle.
That's good. And isn't it wild to think that they once were common on mainland? And
Just relisted 4 weeks ago or something, mate. It's critically endangered again.
back on the list. Doesn't that make these two all the more important?
Yeah. You can pop her in there for a minute if you want, mate. And she can
Yeah.
have a little stand up.
While the
bit of
bottle's warming up.
exercise.
So she's not ready for the big open space.
No,
You just keep her in a little playpen. There you go. She is so small.
Yeah. When you think about things this small and delicate, it's no wonder that cats and foxes and that have such a big impact, is it?
Well, what chance does that have
Yeah.
against a fox or a cat?
Yeah.
Very sad.
All right, we'll get this bottle for her now, Tim. Like this. Should be warm enough.
Okay. Now, I fancy myself at giving bottles, but they can be tricky.
Yeah.
Does she feed well?
When she gets hold of it, mate, she'll drain it quick.
Well, she knows how to drink.
Yeah, she goes all right, eh?
That's brilliant. And the best part is that you guys are here, and there really is a chance for them to get back into the wild.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think she's done. There we go.
Wrap her up.
So even though they're different ages, they'll probably end up in the soft release enclosure together and they'll support each other at that age.
Yeah.
Well, that was a warm start to the morning. Amazing. But you know I'm here for one thing.
Numbat, mate.
You got it right.
Gotta go numbat.
Let's go find one, eh?
Yeah.
We really got to find you your first one, haven't we, mate?
Yeah, I need a numbat, mate.
You need it bad.
I've wanted to see a numbat since I was 6 years old.
Well, when you see your first one, you get that excited. The feeling doesn't change. When you see your 20th one, it's still exactly the same.
Finding a numbat is no easy task. They're rare. One of the rarest mammals on the planet. Rob and John say there's been times when they've driven all day without seeing one, so it looks like we're settling in for the long haul. Numbers are critically low. Back in the early 1980s, there were as few as 50 left. From being widespread across southern Australia, Dryandra was the only place you could see them. Something had to be done. Loss of habitat and the wily old fox were once again the problem. A program was put in place to eradicate the foxes, which was a massive success. For a time, the numbat population soared, but without the foxes, another feral pest moved in. You guessed it, cats.
It's hard for the little fellas, isn't it? All the natives. So you remove the fox, do a good deed, the cat numbers go up and it's equally as bad.
Yep.
It's like a wave continually crashing on their heads, one wave after another, and every time you come up for air, another wave hits.
Something else.
It's believed Dryandra's numbat population is back down to around 50 individuals at the moment. That's down from a high of 400.
50 individuals. So it's a critical point now to get them back. Going from one time where they used to catch them out of here to relocate them to start other populations, back down to having to concentrate on getting this population going again, really important.
After a couple of hours in the car, my eyes are burning. So when I see some bare rock, there's only one thing on my mind.
I'm in thick, dense mallee scrub, and I've just spotted this big granite outcrop. Now, an outcrop like this is pretty rare in this habitat. So I know
That's a mecca for reptiles. There's loose rocks sitting on the top, and if I go and gently flip a few of them, I reckon I might find something. Whoa, look at that. We got a snake. Just get a little stick. Come here, little fella. Oh, he's off. Come here, mate, settle down. I'm pretty sure it's a Mitchell's short-tailed snake. Pretty sure. He's got a bright red tongue, redder than most snakes you'd see. Now, they're venomous, they pack a punch. Maybe not lethal, but enough that I do not want to get bitten. Hey, pal. Hey, buddy. Hey. Ah, beautiful. A new species for me. I'm really happy about that. Now, these smaller snakes, just like our mammals, they fall prey to foxes and cats. To find him here is a good sign. He's a little elapid, front fang venomous. He'd be feeding on skinks and geckos that also live on this rock flat. Look at that tongue, going crazy. Now, he doesn't think that there's food. He's sniffing out if I'm a threat, if I'm gonna eat him or not. I'm not gonna eat you, mate. Now, be it a elapid, front fang venomous, he grabs onto something like a skink or a gecko, whacks that venom in, waits for it to die and swallows it whole. Australia's got so many of these small venomous snakes. To find one that I've never seen before, that's just a bonus. The important thing is, put him right back where I found him. Hey, buddy, hey. Don't you open that mouth at me. That's a great find. I'm gonna put him right back where he was. Okay, now this is his home. First, I'll fix it. And you can go back, matey. Right where you were. That got the heart pumping. What a find. It's beautiful, mate.
It's a lovely place.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? And the bit of rain, the termites are going to be up a bit, mate. Our chances could be great. So you want to look at all your little wood piles, all the open areas. Like if something moves, your peripheral vision's going to pick it up.
It's fair to say, we're looking for a needle in a haystack.
We're looking for a needle in a stack of needles.
Yeah. What's that there? Tree creeper.
Tree, yeah. Hey, how many of them you see by the end of the day?
Oh, my mind's playing tricks on me. I'm seeing numbats everywhere.
It'll do it, mate. By the end of the day, you haven't got anything nice to say about tree creepers.
So tell me, the trees, the eucalypts, the termites eat them out, hollow them out, tree falls over, numbat home?
Yep.
Okay.
But the actual ones that eat out the trees and create the hollows aren't really their main food ones.
What are these, Rob?
That's him, mate. That's what we're looking for. That's numbat diggers.
That's numbat.
Yeah, look.
Ah, our first signs.
He's followed the gallery. He's got a big spot here. There might be something.
So we've got subterranean termites here. They're not the big mound that we always classically think of. They're underground.
Yeah.
And so numbat's here.
Yep.
Little paws, dig.
Yep.
Long tongue goes in.
Whip them out.
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 odd.
This is a spot for us to have a look at, mate.
I know, we keep looking,
concentrate around here. All this fallen timber, mate, it's great for them.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, hey? That's home.
Well, you got everything, haven't you? You got the termites, you got the food, you got the bolt holes, you got a nice, warm, dry spot.
So what's the biggest threat to this timber, fire or people illegally removing it?
Probably the second one, mate, sad to say.
Firewood at home, hey?
Firewood at home.
So it's reasonable that we could have a numbat in there now.
It'd be lovely. Well, it's big enough. Stick your head and have a look, mate.
Yeah, it's a whopper. Yeah, I can't see to the middle.
Nothing in here, only one thing for it. Back in the car and start the hunt again.
And this is a real
patience game.
Yeah. You know, like if you don't have a headache by the end of the day, you're not looking hard enough, mate.
I'm not worried. I expected that this was going to take time, but
Yeah.
this is the case, hey? You just look and look.
You just got to keep going, mate. The way I look at it, mate, you're not going to find them sitting on the lounge at home, are you? But you just keep going until you do it. It gets to the stage sometimes where you get a little bit disheartened because you look for so long, but, you know, it can change like that.
You love it, don't you, mate?
Yeah. I came out here one time in 2008, seen my first number. I come back nearly every weekend ever since, mate.
It's that enthusiasm that keeps me going. We've been out for 6 hours now. If it wasn't for Rob, I'd be well on my way to thinking this was a mission impossible.
Tim, no mate, stop.
Where, mate?
Just over there, it's winning this pile of logs.
Where is he?
What's he, mate, in this pile of logs? Yep.
As always, when it comes to spotting, there's nothing like good oil, and Rob's is amongst the best.
Mate,
Yeah, you got it.
unbelievable.
Good stuff.
Unbelievable.
Oh, look there. Just going through the bush.
It's been a long day, but a wild numbat sighting. It certainly makes all those hours driving worth it. And tonight I'm promised a wild woylie experience with John. This could turn out to be one of my best days ever. Right in the very heart of Dryandra, there's a sanctuary dedicated to Western Australian native animals that face extinction. John's going to show me around.
How big's this enclosure?
4 hectares.
4 hectares. So they can feed themselves to some extent, but you still substitute.
We have to supplement feed, yeah. They can't find everything in 4 hectares.
Okay.
The woylie on the left is more commonly known as the brush-tailed bettong. On the right is the burrowing bettong, which is unique in the kangaroo family, as it's the only one that lives underground.
Yeah, one burrowing bettong. Looks like we've got a bilby coming in, Tim.
Oh, look at that. One of my favourites.
Oh, they are amazing, aren't they? Very unusual.
They're true earth movers of the bush, hey?
Yeah.
They're tough, bilbies. They're hard to hold.
Yeah.
You know, they're a tough animal.
Yeah, yeah.
Just no match for a fox.
No much for a fox or a cat.
Barnamia's original concept was to breed populations of various species that were once common to the area, then release them into the wild. The issue is that age-old problem I keep returning to, cats. Each time the Barnamia team have tried to release any of the natives, the ferals have wiped them out.
We have tried a couple of times, and that was the original intention of everything, was to get them back out. But with the cat numbers rising, we had to crash the whole programme. There's one thing to see them in an enclosure, Tim, but shall we see if we can find one in the wild?
Really?
I reckon we have a good chance.
Oh, make me very happy.
Okay, let's do it.
Looking good. It was beautiful driving through here in the day. It's stunning at night.
Yeah. Spectacular place.
And whilst the numbats are active of the daytime, this is when it comes to life, eh?
Exactly, exactly. The secret world. There we go.
What's that?
Just up on the right, woylie.
Woylie.
Woylie, mate. Got it?
That is my first ever wild woylie. Hit me.
Good on you. I knew it up here. Brilliant, brilliant.
Hey, was that a little young at foot there?
That was definitely young at heel. There's two of them with one following behind, yeah. Right.
Well, after that, my blood's pumping. John's promise of a woylie honeypot is going to have to be pretty special to beat that.
The woylies, is that them we can just hear, just tap, 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 tap in the background?
Yeah, there's one coming in now.
Oh.
There's one coming
It's a woylie.
in. It's a woylie.
Look at that.
Just like the numbat, the woylie populated a vast area of Australia up until European settlement. But by the 1920s, it had disappeared from much of its range. With just 5,500 thought to be left in the wild, they're now critically endangered. So the two little orphans John and Rob are caring for will be a small but very significant addition to the population. But the woylies don't have this place all to themselves.
Hey, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Doesn't get any better than
They're
that.
not beautiful, eh?
Brush-tailed possum is one of my favourite. I know they're common, but...
I know, well, people ignore the common stuff sometimes and they don't realise.
Got another possum.
And then the...
Mast owl.
That was.
A mast owl. That'll be knocking off the mammals, but Australian, I mean, it's a native itself. It's got to eat.
Where did you go a while ago?
I'd heard that mast owl.
It was, yeah.
So for fun, you come and sit here for hours and watch woolies?
It's better than television.
Right. I'm with you. What's the most you've had in here at one time?
We had the maximum that we could really count is 4.
4. It's pretty remarkable of a population that's so small worldwide, and you get 4 in here.
It's a hot spot, it really is, like you said, a honey spot.
Next day, and for once, I've had a bit of a lie-in. No point getting up at the crack of dawn if numbats are still grabbing some shut-eye. This is Tony Friend. He's been instrumental in the numbats revival over the past 30-odd years. With numbers countrywide below 1,000, he's doing all he can to help them through this current crisis.
Well, the key now is managing the predators. Foxes are reasonably easy to deal with baiting, and now cats, which have sort of moved in behind the foxes and much harder to manage, and that's where our challenge is now.
Tony is using a radio tracker to locate numbats he's previously caught and collared. He visits Dryandra on a regular basis to take data about the health and well-being of the population, and that's what we're going to do today. Woodland like this once covered the southern half of Western Australia. Today, Dryandra is all that's left. A small but extremely important island in a sea of agricultural land known as the Wheat Belt. Tony knows there's at least a couple of numbats that live in this area. Hopefully his scanner can pick up a signal.
That's a beep.
You got something?
Yep. It's very weak. Yeah, no, that's straight over there.
Thank goodness for that. I'm not sure I could do another 6-hour search for one of these critters.
Probably 100 metres, I reckon. It's a bit hard to tell, but she's still moving, so we'll probably have to follow for a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I think we're getting pretty close now.
We're close?
Yep, that signal's screaming. Be one of these logs. No, it's not that one. Well,
so it should be...
Could be this one.
It'll be inside the log?
Yep, well, just this, I'm not going to be able to tell exactly where it is. Yep, strong there. Yep.
You're telling me there's a number
right there. That's right. Well, it's a collar anyway, but... Yep. That's... So she's gone in this end, I think. We just need to put a trap over here, and then it's a matter of waiting.
Do you know this individual?
Yes, she's got 4 young. She was caught in on the 17th of January this year, and she already had 4 young.
Wow.
Tiny little rice bowls, and hopefully we'll be able to find those 4 young and measure them.
Once we've set the trap, it's a waiting game. I'm told there's something like 1,000 left. That's captive in enclosures and wild like here in Dryandra. But is it enough?
Well, it's not many animals for a whole species. I mean, you're talking giant panda, there are 1,500 of them, and they're held up as the most endangered thing around. No, we're dealing with low numbers, and we need to be, 5,000 would be a little bit more comfortable. Right, I might be able to see her inside there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there she is.
You got it.
It came out. Whoa. That was pretty fortunate. We've got... Wow, that's great.
Mate.
There's a numbat.
This is amazing. Just look at those markings and look at that. Joey's. No time to hang about though. We've got to get this girl processed and released as soon as possible.
And let it go.
It's no wonder these critters captivate the likes of Tony, Rob and John. They truly are amazing animals, and did you know they're the closest living relative to the Tasmanian tiger?
Excited to see us, aren't you?
I'm so glad these guys are around to make sure the numbat doesn't end up the same way.
Very coy there. No, that's another girl.
4 girls.
4 girls, wow. Well, that's good for the population.
The numbats are only here thanks to the hard work put in by Tony and his team and the long-term planning of the Department of Parks and Wildlife here in WA. Different hurdles will come and go just like they've done in the past. So it's important the resources are there to stop the numbers of Australian extinct animals rising.
What do we do now?
Well, we can let her go.
Yeah?
If you wouldn't mind letting her go,
Really?
that'd be great, yeah.
I would love to do that.
Be a pleasure.
Okay.
All right, this looks like the spot.
It's good here.
If you just put your hand down over her back and hold her, pull her gently out of the bag and onto the ground.
Where your hand is?
Yeah, heads that way. That's it. Oh, she's already going.
All right.
Yeah. That was fantastic. Well
that
done.
has made my life.
Well,
good on you.
Well done, you did good.
That's spectacular, mate.
Yeah.
Well, good on you because, I mean, they're here.
This great land of ours is renowned as being home to some of the world's most dangerous animals. Stories about snakes devouring wallabies, crocs that swim up our streets, spiders that lie in wait under toilet seats, and sharks that hunt down surfers is how the rest of the world think we live day to day.
In reality, there's 23 million of us, and most live in urban areas. And nearly everyone will have little to no contact with these deadly critters in their lifetime.
There's a whole lot of land in the outback for our wildlife to roam. And that is exactly what they want to do.
Especially the ones with the greatest potential to cause us harm.
We have 20 out of 25 of the world's most venomous snakes. But here's something that will surprise many. Without fail, every single one of them would rather flee in the opposite direction than confront us.
You have to remember, until 50,000 years ago, a mere blip in evolutionary history, the wildlife here had never met humans.
What their instincts tell them is that something heavy enough to vibrate the ground they lay on probably wasn't potential prey. In fact, it would more likely be something to fear, so the safest bet was to slither away or hide. And that's exactly what they'd rather do with an approaching human. They certainly don't bite out of malice. So when you hear of someone being bitten, in many cases it's probably due to them trying to corner or handle the snake or even kill it. And often they're intoxicated.
So why does Australia have such a lethal array of venomous snakes? One theory puts it simply. Australia is a harsh continent and snakes develop venom as a tool to help with killing prey and digestion.
Our venomous snakes hunt in different ways, and it's down to the confidence they have in their own venom that decides how they go about it. Some, like the death adder, have taken the easy option and become ambush predators.
Death adders live in country just like this, and they bury themselves under the leaf litter, just their head, eyes and tail with a lure. They wiggle that tail. When unsuspecting prey comes along, bang, they'll grab it. Now, adders also have a large bulbous head with long fangs, and when they bite onto their prey, they hold on.
It's all about energy conservation. The habitat is harsh and food is scarce. So the more energy conserved, the less times they have to eat.
But for the majority of our venomous snakes, they're active hunters. Taipans, brown snakes will aggressively seek out prey. And when they find them down a burrow, in a nest, they'll attack, no question.
It could get a series of bites in. Most likely, it'll be one. These are the snakes with the most confidence in their venom. The prey will be out of there like a rat up a drain pipe, but the snake's supreme senses will already be on its trail.
Before long, the unfortunate victim will succumb to the snake's venom. Now, for most Australian snakes, they have strong neurotoxins that essentially paralyse the prey.
Whatever it is and wherever it falls is where the snake finds its next meal.
When food's scarce and life's tough, energy saved versus effort exerted is critical, as snakes may not get a chance to sink their fangs into another prey item for some time. Here's another thing that'll surprise you. Snakes don't always deliver venom with every bite, And when they don't, it's called a dry bite.
Wasting it on humans is not the best way to utilise valuable venom. A meal may be along straight after. On average, Australia has 2 deaths a year from snakebite. That's from a figure of around 3,000 bites. More people die from honeybee stings in Australia than from these feared yet widely misunderstood creatures.
Having said that, the number of deaths from snakebite is far less than it used to be, and that's thanks to antivenom.
Every 2 weeks at the Australian Reptile Park, we milk over 200 snakes for their venom. The venom is then sent off to be made into antivenom. It's an important part of our work here because without it, there would be a lot more deaths from snakebite across the country.
We've been supplying venom for over half a century, and it all started with the park founder, Eric Worrell.
Until 1955, the only available snake antivenom came from tiger snakes. It didn't matter if you were bitten by a brown snake or a death adder, that's what you got. But a spat of deaths in the early 1950s from taipan bites saw Eric step up and become the main supplier of taipan venom until an antivenom was released. Subsequently, antivenoms were released for brown snakes and death adder until a polyvalent antivenom was released that combined snake venoms so that any unidentified bite could be treated across Australia.
The venom we extract here is sent off to the BioCSL in Melbourne to be made into antivenom. Now that's the last for this batch, and it's on its way.
Details of severe tropical cyclone last year. Intensity, Category 3. Sustained winds of 150 kilometers per hour with wind gusts to 205 kilometers per hour.
Think Fraser Island and long stretches of golden beach, dingoes and sunny skies spring to mind. Unfortunately, the latter isn't on the cards for this visit.
Now, there's my first glimpse of Fraser Island and the coast. And you know, things don't always go to plan. I've had this trip organised for a long time. But right now, 1,000 kilometres north of here, there's a tropical cyclone, Category 3. It's pushing a big low pressure system down this way. Now, the ocean's already up to a few metres. It's massive, awesome to see. The winds have started, they're going to get much stronger, and the rain's going to pour down. But, you know, that's what makes each trip unique and exciting, and these are the parts that you remember.
The wildlife on Fraser is immense. 47 mammals, 79 reptiles, 354 bird species have been recorded. The trouble is, they all know bad weather's on its way. This is 75 Mile Beach. It stretches right up the eastern coast and is so named because, well, it's about 75 miles long.
It's forever changing. The wind and sea have that effect on it. In fact, the whole island's in a constant state of flux.
For 2 million years, ocean currents and waves have swept sand north along the mainland's coastline. It collected here, covering bedrock that stretched along the coast until sand rose above the water.
And that's what we have today, a continually evolving mass, 123 kilometres long and at its widest point, 22 across.
Now, you may be asking yourself, how can an island made of sand support all this vegetation? Surely it hasn't got the nutrients needed for life. Well, it has, and the whole island's living proof. It's completely covered in lush greenery.
And the greatest thing is, I'm over 200 metres above sea level on a sand island in the middle of a rainforest. Nowhere else on Earth will you find this.
Rainforests are specialised ecosystems. They need very specific conditions to thrive. Plenty of rainfall and nutrient-rich soils.
The island didn't come with soil for plants to grow in, but if you take some sand, mix through some minerals, some fungi, add a drop of water, plants can grow. And that's exactly what happened. Now, as the forest got established, the cycle begins to turn over. The trees are up, the leaves fall, they decompose, and now they turn over their own nutrient-rich soil.
No matter where they are in the world, you'll find one thing common to the trees in the rainforest.
Life on the ground in the understory is tough, especially for plants, because they need sunlight and very little penetrates through the canopy, except when a big old tree like that comes crashing down and it leaves a gaping hole and sunlight floods through. Then it's a race to see which sapling can get up into that patch of sunlight the fastest. That's the plant that'll fill that hole. Ah, that's beautiful. Fraser Island's creeks and streams have some of the cleanest and most crystal clear waters on Earth. And that's because the water passes through the sand and it acts as one giant filter.
The streams aren't the only fresh water on the island. This rough-looking shoreline is actually one of the island's greatest draw cards. Unfortunately, in this weather, you don't get to see what the attraction is. This is the view any other time of year. It's Lake Mackenzie. Now, remember, this is fresh water. It's inland and on a sand island. So how on earth is it here? It's known as a perched dune lake. Its formation is down to the dead plant life covering a bowl in the sand. Over time, all that organic build-up has hardened to form its own bowl. That's allowed rainwater to collect and leaves us with the lake we see today. It's a stunning body of water that would challenge any around the world for its purity. The best place to catch a glimpse of dingoes on Fraser is on the beach. The trouble is, in this weather, I've got no chance of seeing one, so I'll have to see some turtles. They're not so bothered about a bit of wet. Earlier at the reptile park, I sent off our latest batch of snake venom to the BioCSL labs in Melbourne. It's there that they turn it into antivenom. But snake antivenom isn't all they make. Other countries might have more venomous animals, but ours are certainly the most potent. BioCSL got involved with antivenom production in the late 1920s. It was clear then that something had to be done to protect the growing population from the threats that surrounded it. Snakes and spiders get the majority of the bad press, but there's a long list of other deadly species we should also consider. There's jellyfish, octopus, fish, and ants out there that can have just as much of a devastating effect. And you won't believe what animals are helping scientists make the antivenom that saves human lives.
Yes, boy. Hey? At this farm, the species that are involved in antivenom production are rabbits for funnel-web spider, sheep for box jellyfish, and horses which produce antivenoms for all the land snakes, plus sea snake, redback spider and stonefish.
If we went back to the earliest days of antivenom development, it involved horses, using horses as the animal to immunise with venom to produce antibody. And that remains the dominant technique throughout the world today.
Technology really hasn't changed over the years. The main change has been the introduction of the apheresis machines which are human plasma collection technology.
Well, who'd have thought that? So the horses are injected with minute amounts of venom over time, so small that it doesn't have an adverse effect. But what it does do is produce antibodies that counteract the foreign substance in its system. 12 months down the line, blood is taken and the plasma extracted. That contains the antibodies, which, when injected into the snakebite victim, neutralises the venom.
What's happening today is blood's being drawn from the horse and it passes through this apheresis kit machine, which separates red blood cells from plasma. Now, the plasma is collected in the bags below, which is used for anti-venom production, and the red blood cells are returned back to the horse during the process. This process takes about 3 hours, and 10 to 12 litres is collected from each horse.
Here's our equine anti-venom production plant. It's about 5 days from go to woe in this process. We produce enough anti-venom so that every hospital in Australia, if they need it, has anti-venom available. We make 11 different types of anti-venom here. Anti-venom for black snakes, taipans, death adders, tigers and brown snakes. We also make a polyvalent anti-venom, which is those 5 land snakes combined. The sea snake anti-venom, a funnel web spider anti-venom, a stonefish and a box jellyfish anti-venom. The one that gets used the most is redback spider. Redback spiders are found throughout Australia because they have actually adapted to live around humans. So virtually every house will have redback spiders.
And all the venom from land snakes comes from the Australian Reptile Park. That's something we're really proud of.
Bites and stinks account, as you guys will see, for a lot of presentations to the emergency department.
The development of antivenoms in Australia started at the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories, then a government laboratory based in Melbourne. So CSL Limited has a long history of involvement in this area. They developed the venom detection test, they developed the first aid technique that is now standard in Australia and is being looked at in other parts of the world. They've been involved in producing guidelines for doctors on managing envenoming around Australia over the last probably 30 plus years.
So in Australia, the number of snake bites that present to hospitals throughout Australia is about 600 a year. The redback spider envenomation, where people come in with quite extensive amount of pain, what we call local sweating, piloerection, where the hairs stand on end, that's the most common presentation to emergency departments that require antivenom.
The typical person thinks that a snake fang is really pretty large. You know, snakes on a plane. This is an African snake, a gaboon viper, very large fangs. That's kind of the preconception that some people have. But many times, because we've got very toxic snakes in Australia that have, generally speaking, pretty short fangs, then a bite may not particularly be noticed by the patient. That's a brown snake fang, the leading cause of death from snake bite. So this says that you can have a person who collapses out in the bush or even at home after a snake bite, unaware that the cause of their illness is a snake bite.
The mortality in Australia as a result of snakebite is about 2 to 3 on average a year, and that's been over the past 10 years. In the past, we had a bit of a peak, and we do see that on occasions when you look at the history in terms of mortality as a result of snakebite.
So there you have it. Without doubt, venom is an Aussie specialty.
The best way not to get bitten is just to give snakes a bit of space. If you see one, leave it alone. Most people are bitten trying to catch the snake or kill the snake. If you happen to get bitten, you really do need to stay calm. That's the golden rule. The faster the heart beats, the more the venom pumps around the body. Further to that, immobilise the limb. Get yourself to hospital. Don't worry about wiping it. They need that venom there to test what snake it was if you're not sure. Even if you don't know if it was a python or a venomous snake, get to the hospital and you'll be right.
This is Lake Alum, another one of Fraser's stunning freshwater lakes, and it's home to some inquisitive little critters. These are Crefts River turtles. They're a subspecies of Australian short-necked turtles. To get a closer look, I'm going to have to get wet. Well, wetter than I already am. And there we go. They're feeding on fresh shoots and any fruits that drop off the trees. But they're also hunting live prey. Aquatic insects and larvae, crustaceans and any small fish they can catch. They actually start off life as carnivores, but become omnivorous over time, meaning they'll eat both vegetation and meat. They're only found in Queensland east of the Great Dividing Range. But how they got here, across the salt water of the sea into a perched lake on an island, is anyone's guess.
That's another world under there. And that's one species that doesn't mind this weather. But this species does. I'm out of here.
I'll be disappointed if I don't see a dingo while I'm on the island. All I need is a break in the weather, and I'm sure they'll be out. 25 to 30 packs inhabit the island, each containing between 3 and 12 individuals. They're the apex predator here. They literally keep the ecosystem in balance. These dingoes are from the north of Fraser. The full, healthy body is a giveaway. They're hunters, not used to human handout. Their diet is varied, made up of birds, reptiles, fish, invertebrates and mammals. They're living the high life, and that's probably why Fraser Island dingoes are the biggest in the country. They average 18 kilograms here compared to 16 in Kakadu and 13 in Central Australia. But these amazing creatures have been subject to hatred and persecution ever since Europeans first brought agriculture to our shores. It's when they come into contact with human activity that the trouble begins. Whether intentional or not, feeding dingoes upsets the natural ecology. If people are feeding them, that leads to a loss of hunting skills and they become dependent on food scraps. Not a good situation. If the food source they're relying on stops, that's when dingoes can become aggressive and incidents occur. Things are looking up. With a break in the rain, there's every chance a dingo will venture out. I'm heading down the beach to see what I can find. And look at that. He's a bit worried. I'm back down the south end of the island where human interaction is more common. If I'm right, his thin body's a sign he's got a bit used to handouts and probably hasn't learnt the hunting habits of dingoes further up the island.
What a sight. Fraser Island dingo. Doesn't get any better than that.
I'm on Kangaroo Island, 30 kilometres up the coast of South Australia, looking for tiger snakes. Just like other islands around the continent, KI has a completely different ecosystem to the mainland, and that means the tigers that live here are different too.
Oh, tiger snake, tiger snake. Look at that. He's already spotted me. He's flared the neck out a little bit to make himself look bigger. I don't have a snake hook, so this'll have to do. Tiger snakes, they don't like it too hot. So he's out early morning catching that sun, but that means he's already going to be warm and fast. Here he goes. Big snake. He's in the bush. Come on, mate. Come on, buddy. There we go. Look at that. Kangaroo Island, tiger snake. Beautiful. All black. Down you go, buddy. Oh, hey, settle, 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 settle. He's biting the grass.
This stallion of a snake is clearly not impressed that I've interrupted his sunbaking.
Don't look at me, buddy. There you go. I'm used to working with tiger snakes half the size of this. But on the islands, their diet changes. Mainland tiger snakes feed on skinks and frogs this big. Island tiger snakes eat mutton bird chicks. They're a good-sized bird, about the size of a small chicken.
I've got to say, my offshore encounters with tiger snakes has been something else. I'll never forget the two I came across on Tasmania with the reptile rescue boys. One lurking under a family's house.
He's golden. There we go.
The other feasting on a nest of chicks.
He's got something in his belly.
Another supreme bird hunter, just like KI tigers.
He's a bit fiery, but if he's quiet enough, I'm just gently going to pin his head and grab him and try and have a look. All right? Okay. There we go. That's a big snake. And I'm a bit more comfortable now he's in the hand. That might seem funny because he's closer, but a minute ago he's very warm, thrashing about, and now he's contained. But what I wanted to have a look at was the glands on the back of his head. They're huge, and I think the quantity of venom in there would be 2 to 3 times what I'm used to with the snakes in the reptile park venom program. Beautiful black, I mean, look at that. I don't think I've seen such a pretty snake. They're dark here because the climate is much colder. So having a darker coloration means you can absorb more of the sun's warmth on the cold days.
The tiger snake has the 4th strongest venom of any snake on Earth. If you cop a bite, its strong neurotoxins will send your body into paralysis, meaning you'll stop breathing or have a heart attack. In addition, it has a very strong anticoagulant, and just a couple of drops to a vial of blood will turn it thick as jelly.
There are skinks and frogs on these islands, but they're not a consistent food source. We're down here in the coastal heath. The ocean's only 500 metres that way. And at the right time of year, mutton birds or shearwaters come in and nest, hundreds of nests along the coast. And these tiger snakes go down there and gorge feed at those times of year. In some places, where there aren't many skinks or frogs, they only feed for 2 to 3 months of a year, and that's enough food to last them for the rest of the year. It's time for me to let him go, and this part's as dangerous as catching him. A nice release means you don't get bitten. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, mate. And you can go now. Well, that was unreal. I've caught a few tiger snakes in my time, but never an all-black tiger snake and never on Kangaroo Island. Something I really wanted to see, and now I have. I'm gonna leave him there.
This is the wonderful Wattigan Forest, just up the road from the reptile park. My old mate Dan has been camping out here for the past few months, studying the breeding habits of the redback toadlet.
Tell me, mate, what's special about this particular site?
Well, that's a unique site for these species. They only breed in ponds that are temporarily dry and then fill up with rain for only a few months of the year. So these frogs, the males, will set up camp really early in the season, and then females will come in after rain when the soil's nice and moist, lay their eggs, and then hitchhike out of there.
So everything you collect here, the males you have, the females you have, you get to understand a brilliant picture of what's happening.
Yep, and that male, he'll sit with them. We don't really know why he sits with them, but he'll guard those eggs, possibly from predators, and until this pond fills up with water, he'll get out of there and those tadpoles will hatch.
Classically Australian, hey, you've got to find a niche. The environment's tough, and if you don't have a little difference like this, you might not survive at all.
Yep. Well, that's the trade-off. They've got away from that permanent ponds where you get predators and lots of other species that love it. Here, you've just got the one species, but so many more risks.
Yeah, and white tags everywhere.
Well, that's where the males set up. They don't move. Once they enter the site, they sit there underneath the leaf litter, call, attract a female, and then he'll sit with the eggs until this pond fills up.
How many males are in this area right now?
Over the course of this breeding season, there's probably been about 200 males turn up.
200?
Yep.
And
so those females have got a great deal of selection to pick out which ones they want to go with.
Well, here we go. So now we're into an interesting topic. What makes a male redback toadlet sexy?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it his nest? Is it his little camp that he's got it set up? Or is it himself? Is it his calls that demonstrate how strong he is?
We're having to tread lightly around here. We don't want to step on anyone.
Look at this.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. He wasn't kidding when he said there's 200 in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, just there. That's a hot spot. How do you get a girlfriend in there?
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, what is it about this little area that makes it so popular?
So what are you going to find under there?
Well, obviously he's gone walkabout, possibly for a feed.
Yep.
But he'll have a little depression there that he usually sits in. But if we've got any luck, he'll have a big clutch of eggs sitting there.
In there now?
Yep.
Ah, show me.
All right, let's have a little look.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, yep. Yeah, decent clutch there.
Look at that.
Yep. Pretty big eggs for a frog of that size, but they've got to give it enough yolk to last for a few months in the egg capsule.
Yeah, so in contrast to a frog that lays 5,000 eggs,
Yep.
that are tiny.
They hatch within days and they don't need any yolk.
But this is dry.
Yep.
So they're robust to be able to weather that until the rain comes. Amazing.
Yep.
Only in Australia, you got an amphibian that we all associate with permanent water that's found a niche that other frogs mightn't be able to survive in, let alone breed in. And we've got eggs with tadpoles inside them in moist dirt, just waiting for rain. Amazing. What's next, Dan?
Right, well, I'm going to collect a few eggs because part of my research involves knowing at this certain stage, these guys are pretty well developed, how quickly they're able to hatch once these pools fill up with water. So we'll dunk a few in and we'll get some data out of it. Yep. All right, I'll just scoop a few out then.
The male will be back soon enough. He won't know any of his brood are missing. He'll simply come in and guard the rest.
Cool.
We get to go and hatch these eggs.
Yep, let's see what happens.
I'm speechless. Home sweet home?
Yep, this is it. It's not much, but it's been home for the last 4 months. All right, so we got these eggs and prepared this little tank here.
Okay.
And so if everything goes to plan, we'll drop these eggs in and I'll record how many hatch and how quickly they hatch and yeah, it should be pretty good.
I can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be good.
So as far as they're concerned, it's just about to rain.
Yep.
Righto, away you go.
Let's go.
One's out. Now this can take a while. 1 or 2 may hatch within minutes, but the rest will bide their time. They need to be sure there's enough water for survival. If they come out too early and the rain hasn't formed a pond, well, it'd be a sad and short life for the impatient ones.
That was amazing. But now we've got a tank full of tadpoles and a dry pond that they came from. What are we going to do with them?
We can't release them back there, can we?
No.
Well, I've got a few other sites that I conduct some other research.
Yep.
So we're just going to release them back in the night. And why don't we do a survey for some few other species that we get there?
I would love to.
All right.
What are we going to do until then?
Well, let's take a seat and let's just wait for it to get dark.
Home sweet home.
All right.
This is a land of extremes. We could go months without a drop of rain, and there's a whole load of reasons why one male's nest could be better than the next. The females have got it covered though.
To overcome the stresses that they've got in that site of like extreme drying periods and then wet periods, they've got to kind of try and figure out how to combat that. And one way we think they're trying to do that is individual females spread their eggs amongst multiple males, kind of like the opposite of putting all your eggs in one basket, spreading the risk. And so at least some eggs that they lay with some male will possibly get through into some offspring.
What happens now, mate? We just wait for dark?
Yep, well, once the sun sets, and we'll probably hear some frogs calling and we'll head out.
And what, we just kick back till then, eh?
Yep.
Easy done.
Take it easy.
Beautiful view.
Great expanses of wilderness that covers the Northern Territory famously harbours many of Australia's largest and deadliest animals. Daytime is usually spent either sunbaking or taking shelter, but most of all, it's a time for sleeping. It's when nighttime descends that the real action kicks in. That's when the predators come out to hunt, and the prey, well, they're just hoping to make it through till morning. It's only a short walk through the dense surroundings before I spot one of the locals.
Snake in the tree. It's a carpet python. It's a Northern Territory carpet python, a Darwin carpet. It's only young. These guys can get up to sort of 10 foot. He'd be taking things like small mammals, reptiles, birds. That's why he's come down. He was sitting there when we found him in a bit of an S pose. Whoa, there's a strike. Look at that, and he's S'd again. I wasn't watching him there, but he can see me. Now, he's been a bit cunning there. He's gently creeping forward and making that S a little bit bigger so he can reach further. I'm not stepping back. The last thing I want is a snake tooth to the face.
Like all pythons, he's non-venomous. Their preferred choice of killing is suffocation. To show you the incredible strike speed of this reptile, I'm going to act as bait.
We'll just try and get him down for a look. Where's the best spot? He's got it. Ah! I deserve that, but that was a bite. A few teeth, not too bad. He's just a python, so it's not dangerous. Those teeth are designed for gripping onto prey. They're backward facing. When they get in, they rip through a bit of flesh, so it might look bad, but he's only a little snake. Whoa. Okay, now he just nailed me. I'm just gonna grab a stick, try and get him to move a little bit. He's on the move now, so it's safe to get him off. He hasn't got that strike position. Come on, mate. Look at that. Beautiful snake. They live in the forest, so they're brown, black, yellow, camouflage well. He's flicking his tongue to have a bit of a smell. It's a good find, because it's quite a cool night. He'd be out looking for any little mammals, birds. And that there, as you can see, you've got the S in the neck. He is just about to strike. And all along that bottom lip are heat-sensitive pits. Now, if one of those picks up my arm, I'm guessing that I'd cop a whack. Don't do it, mate. Don't do it. Look at this. He's just about to strike. He's flicking his tongue. We want to try and keep him nice and settled, not stress him. Hey, bit of a hiss. Look at my hand. It's wrapped up. He's really got my hand there, and a python this size isn't too dangerous. But these guys can get up to 10 foot. I mean, if he was to wrap around, especially on my neck, it'd be an effort to get him off. Okay, I'm gonna try and get him off my hand and put him back where I found him and let him go. He should go straight up into a tree. Come on. And you can really see how he camouflages on that tree. Have a look at the different colours. Once he gets his head around, he should take off. That's it. There we go. What a snake.
I'm at the Wadigan Forest in New South Wales with my old mate Dan. We've just spent the day hatching redback toadlet tadpoles that we're now going to release.
Time to go, mate?
Yep, it's dark enough and I can hear the frogs calling.
Beauty. Let's go.
All right.
This is when the forest really comes to life. You can hear frogs, other animals rustling around, and it's time for us to get out and see what we can find.
Hey, there's a tawny.
Oh, looking right at us.
Look at that. It's a tawny frogmouth right up there. Looks like an owl, but it's not. It's a nightjar.
And what do you know? He's hanging out right where all the frogs are.
Right where the frogs are, hey? He's not silly.
Oh, there's a bit of eye shine there, Tim.
What do you got?
See that?
Oh, yep, there it is. What is it?
Oh, that's a big great barred frog.
Look at that.
Oh, it must be a female by the size of her. That is huge.
Jeez, that's beautiful.
Look at it. Oh my God, look how fat she is.
Look at the mouth on her. What a
See
frog.
that focusing on you almost.
Yeah, you can tell it's night, hey? They're out, the pupils are... Hello, mate.
She's all yours.
Whoop, she's off. Oh. Yeah, that is what it is. This is a pobblebonk. Not a very cute frog. Big eyes, big mouth, all head. And we got a boy, hey?
Yep, and you can tell he's a burrowing species just because their position on the eyes, like right on top of the head. First thing to pop out of the ground.
Is that, so if he's got a tawny frogmouth sitting above him,
yep,
he's not going to come out.
And you can also tell if you flip him over there, you might be able to see, he's got like a little spade-like...
Whereabouts?
Just
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he burrows in backwards into the ground.
Gotcha.
And he uses that as like a little spade. Yeah, nice.
That's brilliant. Okay, matey.
Oh, well, let him on his way.
2 frogs in 2 minutes. Off you go. Let's keep going.
Yep, plenty
Place
more
is
out,
alive,
no
mate. This place just comes to life after dark. The frogs started to call, the insects got noisy, and then everything starts to move. And now we're just finding one frog after another.
Oh yeah, there's some more I shine. Smaller though.
Yeah, this is a little frog.
Oh nice, that's a little green-thighed frog.
Green-thighed?
Yeah, they're threatened in New South Wales.
That's my first ever green-thighed frog, yeah?
Yeah, you don't see too many of them.
No, have you seen them up here before?
Yeah, but they only really come out after lots of rain.
Okay,
But
so
this
we're very
guy's
lucky.
probably out just foraging, looking for a bit of a feed.
What a good sign. How good is that?
Nice.
It's just so good to come to a place like this and see such a healthy population and diversity of frogs.
Yep, yeah, you don't come across these guys too often.
Well, I certainly haven't. You don't have to guess how he got his name. Look at that beautiful green in behind the thighs there. Do they know what that's for?
Yeah, it acts as a sort of defence mechanism when they're evading predators. So when they jump, that colour is revealed and that dazzles the predators just
Brilliant.
a bit.
There's a reason for everything, hey?
There it is.
What a great frog. You know, a threatened species, any species, is good to see in the wild. And he's just out here cruising around looking for some little insects. It's a tree frog, so it's got little suction caps. Time to let him go.
All right, so you can hear that frog?
Yeah.
That's the common eastern froglet, tiny little species.
Yep.
We'll be lucky if we find one, probably on the edge somewhere. Oh, here's a little one here.
Oh, you got one.
Tiny little thing.
Look at that.
Yeah, just hanging in the water there. Yeah, they love these little areas like this. Probably one of the smallest frogs, but one of the loudest calls, I reckon.
Yeah. Is this permanent water or it's just filled with a bit of rain?
This one fills up every now and again, but they'll just take advantage of that. Any free water is colonised by frogs instantly.
They are now. All right.
Cool.
Every Australian frog has a unique call, and at the moment, we're trying to track down a red-eyed tree frog. Every time we get close, the call stops. But they're just in here somewhere. We keep looking, we'll find one. Is he calling somewhere in here? Here he is.
Oh, there he is. Nice.
Look at that. How good is that?
Look at his throat is out, he's been calling.
One of my favourite all-time Australian frogs.
Yeah, have to be.
This is a male sitting up in the tree and his throat's just drooping down because he's continually been calling, just hoping for a female. Red-eyed tree frogs are just beautiful. And we're in woodland here, sclerophyll forest, with a bit of water behind us, but you just picture that that's a tropical frog and it should be in the rainforest. What a find. That's my pick of the night, even though it's not as endangered as the others.
Oh, here he goes.
Listen to that. How good is that?
He doesn't care that we're here at all.
He doesn't care. Let's leave him be. What a day and night. Dan's here letting our little tadpoles go that we hatched this afternoon. And right there is a pair of great barred frogs mating. How good is that?
That's perfect.
Good on you for the work you're doing, mate.
No worries, thanks for coming up.
Oh, I've had a brilliant day.